Have you ever wondered why people that study productivity are sometimes the least productive people? And how can this translate into making you more money? Now, I started to think about this a few days ago, and people are obsessed with productivity. I've been getting all of these ads on productivity, especially as we come up to the new year. People are wanting to invest in themselves, into their New Year's resolution. They're wanting to get a leap on those goals. And so they start off the same way they did last year. And here's the thing. If you want to be part of the 8%, it's estimated that 92% of people fail in their New Year's resolutions. So if you want to be part of the 8% of people who actually accomplish their New Year's resolutions, then by default, you have to do something different than the average, than the ordinary, than the other 92% of people. Now, I was thinking about this and productivity. And in order to answer this question, we have to first understand what is productivity, and then also ask the question, even if you are productive, is that the thing that you should be doing in the first place? So let's say that, you have to send out a bunch of emails and you need to look at spreadsheets and maybe you need to do all of these things. But is that actually moving the needle in your job, in your business? Is it bringing you closer to your goal? So what is productivity? Because so many people, they have all these little tasks that they feel like they need to do, and they confuse busyness with effectiveness. And one of, so let me take it back a step. Elon Musk has the same hours in a day that you do. Grant Cardone has the same hours in a day that you do. Tim Ferriss, same thing. Joe Rogan, same thing. Biggest people out there, everybody has the same amount of hours. And so when looking at productivity, I really gauge things mainly on two metrics: time and money. What return are you getting on your time? And then can you measure the money that you're getting? Because money can buy time. And those are the two primary metrics I have in my life. And if you've studied my work, I talk about leverage a lot, because leverage is putting one unit in and getting multiple units out. So somebody like Alex Hormozy has leverage in his life because he puts in a certain amount of hours in a day, just like everybody else does. He only has the same amount of hours as everyone else. Yet he's able to get multiples of output compared to your average person. Now, how do you do that? Well, you've got information leverage. You've got people leverage. He's got employees, so you can just pay somebody to do that. Go look at Dan Martell, buy back your time. So they found ways to get leverage on their time and to get more out of their time than your average person. Now, to tie this back to productivity, because I think there's mass confusion in the market when it comes to this idea of productivity. So I get all these courses, I get all these ads on social media. Here's your one sheet on how to be more productive. Here's your one sheet on all of these things. And I'm sure they're really effective with helping people in their productivity. But my question to you is, if you are stuck in a 6-figure vehicle, but you have 8-figure dreams, no matter how much productivity you have in that vehicle, it's not going to take you where you want to go. So in order to have the conversation of productivity, we have to have the conversation of what you're trying to do in the first place. Because most people have little bitty goals, little bitty dreams. And it's only when they're exposed to something bigger. They profess the big dreams. They profess all the stuff. But the actions aren't aligning, and they're not actually in the vehicle that they need to be to accomplish those big goals. You know, like I don't care. My mom, I shouldn't tell too much about her, but she's in a job that it doesn't matter how hard she works, how productive she is, all the things that she can do, she's never going to go someplace big in that job. And guys, I love my mom to death. I'm not speaking ill of her. I'm just saying she's not in a vehicle that will allow her to expand. She's not in a vehicle of expansion. So going back to this productivity, one of the issues I have with the personal development community is you have this whole group of people who's like, oh, I'm trying to personally develop. I'm working on myself. I'm studying productivity. I'm studying beliefs. I'm studying. But what's the output? Like, what is the action? What's the result? Because results are really all that matter. Behavior change is all that really matters. And that's not necessarily true. I mean, belief change will dramatically increase the quality of your life, but the results should follow. Like, the results are just a lagged reflection of your identity. And so to tie this back to this idea of productivity, I see all of these people that are studying productivity. They're studying how to get more done in their day, yet never questioning if what they're doing is what they should be doing in the first place. That's misalignment. That's incongruence, because you haven't found your talent to truly deliver and serve in the marketplace. And nobody teaches you in school how to find your talent. Nobody teaches you how to find your skill sets and package those up and position those in the marketplace so that you can go out there and deliver a big impact. That's productivity. Productivity is when you are on purpose. Productivity is I like to say success is the really acquiring and meeting and attaining your potential. So success is not one-dimensional. Success is multi-dimensional, because my potential, I can have a lot more than just a lot of money. I want to have good relationships. I want to have great health. I want to have time. I want to have freedom to decide who I want to work with, when I want to work with them, how I want to work, where I want to work from. That is attainment of my potential. And the vehicle that you're in is so massively important, because you can be the most productive car salesman, real estate, mortgage broker, business owner, and yet fail in getting the results that you truly desire for your life. So no amount of information is necessarily going to break you free of that. I do think a lot of people, I hear a lot of people online, and here's another big problem I have with this sort of online space, is that people are out there telling you, you don't need any new information. You just need to do what you already know. Maybe that's true. Maybe you need to do 50, 60% of what you already know. But in my experience, a lot of people need to be introduced to new information. They need exposure to new concepts. One of the reasons why events are so powerful is not because you only get new information. It's because you are set in a state and then you receive that new information. If you receive that new information just from somebody in a store, you're shopping just out every day, and somebody walks up and provides that information, you're not receptive to it. Even if it's in your business, somebody calls you, says, hey, I want to give you this life-changing information. You're not receptive to it. The reason events are so powerful is because you create the state for you to take that information and then bam, go take action on it. That is the difference. That's why events are so killer for transformation. Now, some people, they leave an event, they don't take action on it, they never do anything. You're always going to have those people. But There's the other people that are going to leave and they're going to be fired up, not just for a month, 2 months, 3 months. They're going to do whatever they have to do. They're going to connect with people that keeps them fired up, that keeps their psychological testosterone at maximum. Because that's what you have to do. You have to have this instinct to pursue and then pursue that goal relentlessly. You have to be obsessed with it. And yes, there is a time to push and there's a time to pivot, and you have to know when to do both. But guys, productivity is like this disease plaguing our society at times, because you have this whole population of people who are working to be more productive, but they're not working in a vehicle where that productivity will lead to any measurable improvement in their life. Like, I talk to people all day long who are like, well, I just need to get these good habits. I need to get up earlier. I need to work out more. I need to do this more. I should do this. I should do that. Man, they should all over themselves all day long. And I say, okay, great. So you're going to do these habits. That's going to build your self-worth a little bit. It will. It will help build your self-worth, saying, hey, I commit to doing this. I'm going to do this. But at some point, you have to find orientation. You have to find alignment. You have to find what you're really trying to do in life. And if you don't find that, if you don't pursue it, if you don't seek it out, if you don't seek out somebody that can help you find that, then you're going to have these good habits, and you'll be the most consistent man or woman that never achieves their dreams. Because you didn't appropriately identify what your dreams even were. You didn't appropriately identify your values. See, productivity is a byproduct of these other things. Like, you can't look at productivity just in isolation. Like, I just want to be productive with what I do. No, productivity has to be taken in context of what your values are, what your goals are, who you're trying to be. And I'm not talking about, so I guess I'm just going to rant about everything today. But again, in the personal development community, you hear all these people who are like, I'm just trying to find my authentic self. I'm just trying to be the authentic me. The problem with that is your most authentic self is often an expansion. It's often an orienting to your future self, to who you could be, to your potential, to attaining your potential, to maximizing that. And so this concept of your authentic self it holds a lot of people back. It keeps people stuck. Does that make sense? So guys, when it comes to these things, it's like you find out more about yourself and who you are and what you're capable of when you are pursuing something bigger, especially bigger than yourself. When you are pursuing a big mission and you have a big goal, that's when the magic happens. And when that big goal is aligned with your values, when it's aligned and in integrity with who you are, that is when productivity truly happens. And yes, you can have these big visions, you can have these big goals, you can know your values. But if you have no sense of productivity, you're not going anywhere as well, because you've got to get things done. But productivity, as so many people view it, is a disease. It's just a mask for procrastination. It's just a mask for busyness and confusion and chaos. And it keeps people sedated in this idea that they're somehow being productive, while the results of their life would tell a different story. So guys, if you're thinking about this and you're wondering, why are the people that study productivity oftentimes the least productive? It's because they haven't taken the time to align themselves and to point that productivity not just towards an arbitrary goal, but towards a big mission that utilizes their unique skill sets, their unique talents, the unique ability that they bring to the world that nobody else can, because their past helps other people solve their future. And that's where relationships begin. Like somebody comes to me and they say, "Hey, Kaylin, I've got a big goal. I've got a big thing." And I say, "Okay, well, because of this in my past, because of the skill sets that I've developed, I can help you create your future." And here's the thing, nobody likes handouts. So the relationship begins when money is transacted. The relationship begins and is completed when there is an exchange of value. Because if people don't pay, they don't pay attention. If people don't pay, they're not committed. And if you give everything away for free, it's just a handout. And at some point, people resent handouts. People don't want to be treated like a child. They want to earn their way. And they just are looking for somebody to facilitate and accelerate what they're trying to do. Because the truth is, I do believe people need new information. All these productivity people, they need new information because you've got to break the chains of focusing on things that don't actually lead to the results that you want. And once you get that new information, boom, you get a new belief. It opens up a new and bigger future and possibility. And that is what can change your life. And then you start the process of identity change and really creating a bigger and better future for you, your family, those around you, your community, your country, whatever it may be. But guys, those are my thoughts. I thought on it for a little bit because sometimes I get so frustrated hearing people go in circles, especially the people who are stuck in the perpetual personal development cycle and they're not taking the equal and opposite behavior change. Like they're only focusing on the one thing over here, but you've got to have the actions. You've got to do those things because if you want to change your life and the two things that I help people with the most, self-development, changing their self-worth, their image, their state, because that really determines the quality of their life, and then helping them make more money by exposing them to new concepts, filling them in on frameworks they may have not been aware of or just haven't had somebody appropriately explain, and then helping them become a person of expansion and really expanding who they are and creating the life that they want. And I'm going to make a video on this. I think it may be my next video. If not, it'll be the video after on really the big things and the ways to do that. Because really it's pretty simple once you learn the truth. It's pretty simple. And a lot of people have asked me to do more fitness training, to do more relationship training because of my unique past there. So for some people who are watching this, I was a male dancer, so I came in contact with over 250,000 women in the span of about 6 years. So I got a PhD in psychology, really, like a PhD in human behavior in a way that other people just never get to experience. And so that's part of my unique past. But what I really love is helping people make more money because more money allows them to have better health. If they need to get help with the relationships, it allows them to do that. And ultimately, it allows for freedom. And my publishing company that I published my book under, this is my book right here, Freedom 2.0. That's what it's about, Freedom 2.0. Because most of you out there probably did all the stuff that society told you to do, all the BS. And you ended up with Freedom 1.0. You thought, okay, I'll get the house, I'll get the car, I'll get the person, I'll get this, I'll get that. And then at some point you woke up and you're like, man, this ain't for me. I did all the stuff that I thought would make me free, and yet I never feel more trapped. If that's you, listen up, this book will help because that's the reason that I wrote it, because Freedom 2.0 is so powerful. Once you make that fundamental reorientation and you say, okay, here's Freedom 1.0. I got all the stuff that I thought I wanted. So what are the things that would really make me successful? Not just financially, but successful so that you have the time to pour into your relationships, to pour into your community, to pour into your message, your mission, your goals. What are the things, you know, the freedom to have the health that you want? Dude, it's very difficult to have optimal health if you don't have at least some sort of financial flexibility, because you're stuck living in places you don't want to live. You can't, if anything happens, you can't get yourself out of that. So guys, this is super important, and productivity is a necessary key to actually creating the financial abundance that you want. But productivity in context, where you have to find that appropriate vehicle. You're never going to get to an 8-figure dream with a 6-figure vehicle, guys. So you've got to have it in context, and then that's when productivity really matters. And I cover a lot about that in my book here. So guys, by the way, my name's Kalen Compass. I don't like long intros. I don't like things like that. If you've made it this far, this is the book that I wrote. The book is for men. Incidentally, I've had quite a few women read it, and they're like, dude, I just replaced man with woman. And honestly, it was the best book I've ever read. So that's not me saying that. That's others saying it. But truthfully, if you do pick up a copy, I'll put a link down in the description. This book will change your life. You can tell it's not small. It's not small because I believe so many people, they write a book on a single concept, and then people end up needing to read 500 books, and then they have to attempt to connect these concepts, when in fact people need really a manual. They need a strategy guide that pieces together the concepts, that gives them a strategy so they can go out and attack life in a big way without reading 500 plus books like I've done. I've read probably several thousand in my life, but especially in getting the transformation that you're after. And so that's why I did it. And I will just go ahead and tell you, since I seem to be on a little bit of a rant today, guys, nobody writes a big book to sell a lot of books to make a lot of money, because I could have written a 60-page book and made a lot of money with it. But I wrote this book because I'm passionate about it, because I'm passionate about changing people's lives, and it really delivers the thing that so many people are searching for. So guys, hope this video helps. Look for that next one coming up in the next 1 or 2 videos. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to be over the Sacred 8, which is my personal system that I use to really break through every challenge in life. So guys, hope this helps. Be great.